makeup lovers, welcome back to my channel. It's Nicole from nikolebeautyco. I am reviewing some brand new makeup today. I hope you'll stay and check it out. I am going into Melt Cosmetics lipstick. I am going into some Melt Cosmetics all day everyday eyeliner, and I am going into Tarte Cosmetics Tartelette Tease. And we are going to start with the Tartelette Tease. In this video, we are going to dive into Tarte Cosmetics, the Tartelette Tease palette. Hopefully you can see that. So let's begin. Taking a Sephora Pro tapered crease brush, we are going to go into BFF, which is the darkest chocolate brown. We're going to load up our brush, tap it to remove any excess, and starting, if there was an imaginary line between the waterline going upwards to my temple, we're going to start way back. And we're going to do a little bit just a little bit of an inverted V. Dipping into Heartbreaker, I'm just going to soften the transition as I go from the exterior of my brow bone towards my nose. Next, I'm going to take First Kiss. And using my Pro Shadow number 14 from Sephora, I am going to spread that on my lower lid. Using my Pro Concealer brush number 45, I am going in to Whisper, this tone right here, and I'm packing Whisper underneath the eyebrow and in the hollow of the eye socket. Using my Laura Mercier Eye Basics Eye Primer in Linen, I'm actually going to use this to cut my crease. I'm going to do a half cut crease. Next, using my fingertip, I am going to overlay the Shimmer Crush. Next, using Sephora Long Lasting Eyeliner in 06 Deep Brown, we are going to do a little bit of eyeliner. Let's pop on a little bit of Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. Next, we're going to try out Melt Cosmetics. And this is All Day Everyday Eyeliner in the color Mixtape, which is a purple. And we're going to throw that on our waterline. And I am going to go into my Narcissist Cheek Studio palette. I'm actually going to use one of the contours in this palette for blush since I'm staying relatively neutral. Dipping into my Laura Mercier Loose Powder in Translucent. I'm going to give my face a quick dusting using my Tarte Merry Metal brushes. And you can check out the review on those if you like. Look at this pretty little box. This is Melt. It is one of their lipsticks. It is in Stepford. It's a matte. Ooh, so pretty. Adorable little palette. There are 6 pans in total. Retails for $19. And for that $19, you get 0.89 grams of total product, which means each individual pan is 0.15 grams, putting your per gram cost at $21.34. Let's dive into swatches. That's BFF, Heartbreaker, First Kiss, Crush, Wink, Whisper. Now I do want to point out I just accidentally gouged Heartbreaker with my fingernail, so that is not like terrible breakup in the pan. That is me damaging it. And of course I'm tattooed, so you can see where we have more opacity and less opacity in terms of the pigment. So you are getting 4 mattes, 1 shimmer, and 1 foily metallic color. Now I do own Tartelette in Bloom Amazonian Clay, the full-size palette. Here you go. Boom. You can see how close the tones are. Really, really close. Now, personally, to me, I'm going to say that these are essentially almost exact in terms of tone. I would say Whisper is pretty darn close to Flower Child in the full-size Amazonian Clay palette. I would say Wink is very close to Smarty Pants. I would say Crush is the same or very close to Funny Girl. I would say First Kiss is pretty similar in tone to Jet Setter, except that it does have a little bit more shimmer. I would say Heartbreaker is, I would say it's closest to Rebel, but it's not exactly the same as Rebel. And I would say BFF is just a tiny bit darker than Leader. So technically, these are different, but to me, so darn close. So what are my impressions? I feel like the Tease palette actually has a little bit more blendability, a little bit less fallout, a little bit more pigmentation than the Tartelette in Bloom Amazonian Clay. Now, it may be that this is an older palette and the Tartelette Tease is a new palette. I got that as a stocking stuffer. I would not have personally bought that on my own just because it is so close to the Amazonian Clay. as to really be almost a dupe for it, to be honest. Even on the back, it says Tartelette Tease Amazonian Clay, and you can see the beautiful packaging of each, but really similar. You know, you've got purple and pink, you've got purple and pink. This is plastic, this is cardboard. They just seem so super close. I wouldn't have personally bought it. Now, I do think it's a cute palette. If you love neutrals, I can totally see this working for you. I actually think that these are a little bit nicer, in my opinion, than the luxury palette from Charlotte Tilbury. Here is the luxury palette from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm trying not to put those too close to the camera because I don't want the lights to blow out the tones. But you can see essentially, if you had this and this, you could do very similar things. The difference is this is $19 and this, don't quote me, I could be wrong, I believe this is $58 if it's bought on its own. I don't see the value there compared to this. Yes, they're both beautiful. There's slight differences in the tones and the finishes, but not so much that if I were like, oh, darn, I forgot my Charlotte Tilbury, but I'm saved because I have Tartelette Tease, that I'd be like, oh, I'm so bummed I gotta do my eye makeup with Tartelette Tease and not with Charlotte Tilbury, the luxury palette from the Vintage Vamp collection. So to me, very much a steal. I really like it. And like I said, I actually like the formula better than in my full-size Tartelette in Bloom. Let's talk about the Melt Cosmetics. I used the Purple All Day Everyday liner on my waterline. Mixtape. Mixtape is a deep purple. It has a little bit of shimmer. I thought it was a perfectly acceptable eye pencil. Now, I don't think that it, to me, you know, it's hard for me to judge this eyeliner just on my initial application, because if the name is All Day Every Day, I need to know that it's going to last all day, and obviously my makeup is fresh. So catch me in another video. I'll try to mention my thoughts on that. Now, in terms of the Melt Stepford Wife Matte Lipstick, I thought that it was very, very glidey without necessarily being so slippery that it was obviously meant to be a shiny base to it. I think the color is beautiful. It's nothing like any of the lipsticks that I have in my lipstick wardrobe. I would call it a plum brown mix. It's almost like a plum that's been mixed with a clay brown. I think the color is really pretty. I like it. So that was a plus for me. Now, overall, I would say that the Tartelette Tease is a really cute palette. For $19, I think it's great if you are looking to do more indie makeup as opposed to, say, CoverGirl or Maybelline. I'm perfectly okay with it. I think it's lovely. I don't think it's unique. You know, that's just me. I think the color palette is mimicked over and over. Now, personally, in comparison to, say, Huda Beauty, I do like the Huda Beauty a little bit better in terms of the blendability on the lid. And so for me, the Nude Obsessions Medium Huda Beauty, I would definitely buy over the Tartelette Tease. But I would take the Tartelette Tease over the Vintage Vamp Luxury Palette from Charlotte Tilbury. And I would take any of those three over the In Bloom Tartelette full-size palette. So there is that. I think it's an excellent price point for getting into Tarte makeup. Of course, the per gram cost is quite high because it's a mini. And anytime you get a mini, you're going to pay much more per gram than you would for a full size, just as in food. If you buy a little baby yogurt versus a tub of yogurt, you're going to pay more per ounce for the baby yogurt than you would for the ginormous tub of yogurt. That's just the way things are. That's how they make their monies. I hope you found this helpful. I tried to compare this particular palette to a lot of other palettes in my collection that are similar in tone and price point, just to give you guys some more information. Now, the one thing I would say is a huge plus, and there is the huge plus that the Tartelette Tease is made in the United States. And I always love supporting United States products, given that I'm in the United States. I like the idea of having our jobs in manufacturing stay in our own country. So that to me is a plus. If you're outside the United States, that might not matter to you at all. But to me, I feel good about it. I feel like the manufacturing processes are in general slightly more regulated than other places. So that is a plus. I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, please consider like, comment, subscribe, and share. Help my channel grow. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Thank you so much. Ciao.